John Nelson catches up with O.J. Kemp, Arlington ISD's athletic director, next on Conversations. Hello, welcome to Conversations. I'm your host, Jeannie Curtis. Next on Conversations, John Nelson had an opportunity to catch up with Arlington ISD's athletic director, O.J. Kemp, for an update on where Arlington ISD is headed with this fall's athletic season.
Well, thanks, Jeannie. At the beginning of every athletic school year, we always enjoy visiting with Athletic Director O.J. Kemp. And O.J., everything's in place for another successful year. Volleyball, the first sport to start. Football is in a dogfight, but everything really is in place.
Everything, you're right, John. Everything is in place, and we're just so excited in AISD to have the support of our administration. Dr. Cavazos does a wonderful job, not only taking care of the whole district, but he takes care of athletics as well. And Michael Hill is my direct boss, and he does a wonderful job. When I go over and ask for things for our athletic programs, he's right there trying to support us. We're excited, John. Volleyball, of course, started on August the 5th, and they've played 3 tournaments already, our varsity teams, and they start district play tomorrow night. So I know those teams are excited because they've been working hard. Our team tennis also started practicing on August the 5th, and they've been competing. And right now they've had 2 district tennis matches, so they started last Friday with their district competition. We also have cross-country kids. They're out competing. They're out running 5:30 in the morning. 6 o'clock they're out doing their cross-country workouts, and so those guys are working as hard. And then, of course, we're in week 3 of football. And we know we've got some big matches up this week. We've got 2 homecomings at Arlington High and Lamar High School, so I know those schools have had a great week of festivities going on there.
O.J., you had some movement in the coaching ranks. 2 new hires that come to mind, the new football coach at Bowie, the new volleyball coach at Seguin. Was that about typical as far as movement in a school year, or was that kind of unexpected?
Well, I think it was typical. Coach Perry had a great opportunity to go to TCU as one of their assistant coaches, and we miss him, but Coach DeArmond was the defensive coordinator at Bowie, and he's done a wonderful job so far in our first 3 weeks, and he'll keep that program rolling. We also had another TCU exit, the head volleyball coach at Seguin High School, Lauren Otto, didn't realize she was going to get that job, and they didn't apply to it till late, and she went to TCU like 3 days before volleyball season started. So we moved our varsity assistant up, Katria Ridgway, and she's done a good job. So I know she's looking forward to district starting for her and the Seguin Cougars tomorrow night. But all of our volleyball programs, like I said, are competing well, and we do have 2 new positions, and that's pretty typical for an AISD year. That's pretty typical. What
do you look for in a new hire? I mean, the coaches have to go in thinking long-term rather than a short-term deal. Is that a fair assessment?
That's a fair assessment. We want somebody that's going to provide some stability for that community, for that school. But we're also, when I look for coaches, I want somebody that has a passion for what they do. I want them to love those kids like those parents love those kids, and that's what I'm looking for. I want somebody that's going to be committed. You know that you're a high school coach or you're a junior high coach, and your job is to be a great classroom teacher and then an outstanding coach. So you got to be committed to your kids. I'm looking for somebody that has a lot of loyalty, has a lot of passion, has commitment, dedication. Those are the things that I'm looking for in coaches, and I look for somebody that I can see some leadership potential, because if you can lead those kids, you ought to be able to be a great classroom teacher in the classroom as well.
All right, junior high, you've added tennis and soccer.
Yes, we have. This is going to be a new experience for us this year, and John, part of our strategic plan is we want to get all these kids engaged in extracurricular and co-curricular activities. And that's a start for us, because we haven't started any new junior high programs. And tennis is off to a good start. Those kids are working hard. We have high numbers, like 50-some over Lamar and Martin. Those 2 are really getting the kids involved in that. And I think tennis is one of those lifelong sports. So if we can start them out early, I think we've got a lot of kids in PE that were in our PE classes that want to try tennis. And so those kids are getting involved in something. Soccer, we won't know those to the end of the school year. We're going to go through our junior high sports, and then we're going to play soccer the last 6 weeks of the school year. But those numbers will be high as well, because other than football on the high school level, our highest numbers are in soccer. They have the highest number of kids wanting to play on our soccer teams in the high school level. It's such a popular sport. And you can drive around any town on the weekends, and you can see kids out on soccer fields kicking balls.
All right. What do you see as far as adding after this school year?
Well, I think, obviously, probably the one sport that comes to my mind is wrestling. They have such a high population as well. They're right below soccer, and those programs continually growing. And I think if we can add junior high wrestling, we'll probably get a few more kids out of PE to get them involved in an athletic event. So wrestling, probably right behind that would be golf. Again, another one of those lifetime sports that they can play. And I wish I had time to play a little bit more myself, but I can't do that.
All right, what about the lighting situation? What junior high campuses need better lighting and the tracks?
Great question. We're obviously getting together with our facilities assessments. We had somebody come in and look at all of our facilities, all campuses in AISD. And one of the things that I think that we can help save money on is if we did have lights at the junior high campuses, we wouldn't have to be busing two teams like we're going to bus Gunn and Bailey up to Arlington High to play a 7th grade game, because you can't play them and it's getting dark. And we think every kid deserves an opportunity to play, and we're not going to let the A team and the B team gets cut short because of no lights. So last year I moved them to the high school, and so we're busing two teams, whereas if we did have lights at the junior high campus, then those kids get to play on their own campus, and their teammates and their classmates can see them play there instead of having to travel to Arlington High or having to travel to Seguin to watch a team play. With that being said, I hope that we get those, and we've had a track program in Arlington ever since I've been here, and these junior high coaches have to go to the high schools. Mm-hmm. And with that being said, if we could hopefully build a 6-lane track at these junior highs, it will also help the community. I think you would have more community people out walking on these tracks. And so, again, we're a community school district, and we want to involve them as well. So I think that they need a track in order to prove our high school programs.
Even before the school year started, OJ, the AISD was in the national spotlight. Hunter Pence won a world championship with the San Francisco Giants. Luke Jokel selected in the first round of the NFL draft, so the AISD was right up there at the top. It
was at the top, and you know what, and I do the same thing, but it was nice to receive some of the texts from outside of our athletic directors, because when their kids are being selected, I'm texting other athletic directors, because that's an honor. But it is an honor for us in AISD, and we feel like that with the programs that we have in place and the outstanding coaches that we have, our kids are getting a great experience in athletics. We want it to be very positive. I believe it is. And those are those kind of coaches we want. You got to have some passion. You got to love what you do. And that's what we're doing. So we got great coaches that are coaching these kids that are dedicated and putting in the time to be very successful.
Okay, finally, that being said, your overall vision for AISD athletes?
Well, like I said, I want it to be a very positive experience, but also feel like that, John, we are a little bit behind in facilities, and there's no secret if you go driving around other communities. And we want people to move to Arlington ISD for an athletic experience, an academic experience, a fine art experience. We want all that combined for kids coming to Arlington ISD. My vision is obviously to get the tracks at the junior highs, 6-lane tracks, get them some lighting down there, and also we need an indoor facility. When it's raining and everything, our coaches, we don't have a place to go work out. And that's from track all the way down to soccer to softball. The fields are muddy. They can't hit. You have an indoor facility, they can go in that indoor facility and hit. So we would like to have definitely an indoor facility for our campuses and for our coaches. And, and finally, a long-term vision is we would like to also have community stadiums. We only have a stadium at Lamar and Sam Houston. Well, Arlington High, Bowie, Martin, and Martin and Seguin. We hope we'll get some community stadiums there, that we can build stadiums eventually, just like the two that are at Sam Houston and Lamar. Good things are happening in AISD.
She's always insightful and does think long term. OJ, appreciate it.
Thank you, John. My pleasure.
All right, Jeannie, back to you.
OJ Kemp, John Nelson, thanks for coming on the show today. And OJ, I know some kids that are excited about taking that tennis class come junior high. For Conversations, I'm Jeannie Curtis. Thanks for watching.